right here. This is your connection. Going to take my driver, place it down the line that I want, walk up to your grip. Hi, I'm Larry Wilson. Everybody calls me Dr. Larry. And I'm going to show you today the fundamentals of golf as I believe in them. And I promise you this, if you will follow these rules, practice hard, I promise you, you will enjoy this game more than you ever have. Not only in the short term, but the rest of your life. When you address this ball, just bend enough that your right hand can go underneath your two fingers. Your third and fourth finger, gently touch your thumb, and then just let the finger roll over with your thumb and your forefinger. Just like that. That's all there is. There's not any more. The one thing you want out of this is you want the dominance of these three fingers. Myself, personally, I have actually gone to what that grip that I just showed you with the little finger over, the two fingers up against the thumb, and then just let your thumb and forefinger grab a hold. Don't turn them. Don't roll them. Just let them turn. That's a Varden grip, okay? I actually do something a little different because of the fact that I want my left to be dominant. So dominant, I actually go double. I actually put both fingers up here like this, and only my one finger, my middle finger, goes on the club here. Why? I want this left to be so dominant. I don't want my right hand to do anything in the golf swing. The only thing my right hand is going to do in the golf swing is when I am at the top of my backswing here, it gives me a little support underneath. It's like you've got a line drawn to the back of your left arm. The back of that left arm is going down your target line, and the right hand does absolutely nothing but ride along. And Bobby Jones even made comment on his tapes way back in the late 20s, early 30s. These three fingers were so important for the dominance to start the swing down that he said when he was on his backswing, when he was very, very slowly and back here, he actually would feel a little release of those three fingers at the club, and he would re-grip the club with them to start his downswing to his target line, because he wanted to remind himself that that is what started the swing down. Now, if Bobby Jones thought it was that important, we sure as heck think it's that important. It has not changed one bit, folks. These three fingers, that's your connector to the big muscles in your left arm and back that will actually start your golf swing so that you do not use your hands in the golf swing. The hands simply hold on. And these three fingers are what must hold on to the golf club. Folks, there are very few things in golf that are fundamentals that are totally black and white, 100% and zero, that you want to try to do every time you swing a golf club. And we get away from these fundamentals. What I want to try to do is to show you these, and this is the big picture, okay? When we try to make such a perfect golf swing, we get all caught up with all these little bitty minutiae and little bitty things that we think about that we read in a magazine or heard on the Golf Channel last night. But listen, don't forget the big picture. And the big picture is this. When you strike a golf ball, you're balanced over your left leg. Your left arm is stretched and down your target line. There is absolutely no tension, and there is no active release of your hands. The only other part of that is these three fingers must stay as the connector to that left arm. That left arm cannot keep driving to your target line and bring the club if these three fingers do not stay connected. Folks, we've talked about the fundamentals of the importance of your left arm going to your target line as a part of the swing. Well, how are we going to be consistent with this swing? Even if we get that left arm moving, if we get up here where we're balanced over our left leg, how do we get consistent with hitting the shots we want? This starts also with alignment to your target line and where you're going to place your arms and hands in relationship to your body. Now, think about it now. Don't think golf. Think common sense, if you will. If we don't line up to the ball consistently the same way each time, and if we don't put our hands in relationship to our body in the same place each time, no matter even if we make the same swing, the ball's going to go differently. So, what you must learn to do with your alignment is get a consistent, and watch the pros. You must get consistent in some type of a little pre-shot routine is what it's normally called in golf. I don't care what you call it. It's getting ready to hit the ball. Now, some folks grip the club first, then line up to the ball. Some folks will line up their club, then grip. There's not a right and a wrong in this, none whatsoever. It's going to be what you're comfortable with. But if you're not a really solid player and not a great player and you don't have a pre-shot routine, let me show you the easiest way in all these 30 years of teaching that I've done that I have found that is most consistent with my students and players. The biggest one is when you see what your line is, and you may want to line it up from behind and pick you out a little spot up here, very much like Jack Nicklaus did, because he was farsighted and he couldn't see anything at a distance. So kind of like bowling, where you have spot bowling with a little spot in front of you, not much different. Or if you want to look out here to your total line, that's okay, whatever, suits you the best. But you should take your club, keeping your club square. Make sure you take your grip, and we will get into this much later as to how you want your trajectory or the flight of the ball to go. Take your club, put it consistently, put your grip, and this particular club I've got is a pitching wedge in my hand, so I'm going to put the grip slightly in front of the ball. I've got it lined up down my line. Now, I'm now going to come up, and I'm going to leave that grip, and I'm going to walk up. I'm going to let my arm fall very, very naturally to me, and then right here, I'm going to grip that club. Now, I'm going to bend my knees just enough that I can take my right hand and put it underneath the club right here for a good grip, which we've already talked about. Now, what I have done is set this club up with my hand just inside this thigh because it's a natural fall. Folks, you want to do this on every single shot you ever hit in your life, okay? It doesn't make any difference. This hand and body position, the hand and arm in relationship to your body should never change, ever. Are we going to be able to hit shots left to right, right to left, or straight? Yes. We can control the trajectory, but we do that with the ball in relationship to our body, okay? Now, again, what we want to do, line the club up, put the grip slightly ahead so that the arm will be leading. Walk up to it with your arm naturally relaxed where it is. Let it grip the club with those 3 fingers of the left hand. Just bend your knees just enough to get your right hand underneath the club. Now, take a look down your target line. You know where it is. Now, all you want to do now, turn that left shoulder back where you want it. Turn that left shoulder back down your target line and go down your target every single time. Be consistent. All right, now we're at putting. And yes, folks, we think the same thing. We go through exactly the same pre-shot routine that we do on every single club, and you pay attention to what it is. Now, on putting, you can have your choice of when you line your putter up, and try to line it up square, or if you even feel like it's slightly open, that's okay, okay? Just make sure it's not what we call shut down or closed to the left side, if I'm right-handed, to the left side of the target. Of course, if you're left-handed, it'd be just the opposite. Okay, let's square this thing up, and when we square it up, we do exactly the same thing. Look at where you put your grip. Where do you want your grip? Do you want it slightly in front, as some people like to putt? Do you want it even with the ball, or do you want it slightly behind the ball, or even with the back of the ball? I happen to feel by my putter exactly the way I do with my driver, and that is that I like my grip right even with the back of the ball. That way I feel like I'm swinging dead even with it. Now, what we do, I've got it set, I've got it down my line. Now what I'm going to do is walk up to it tall, just like I always do. Let that left arm fall down naturally. Grip that club with those 3 fingers. Make that little double overlap that I talked about, as I can show you here with this, where I use 2 fingers. It's almost like a double Varden grip. And you go way up, and it makes your right hand weaker and makes your left hand stronger. But like I said, I hit every shot this way, trying to keep my left arm stronger. So what you do, you've got it lined up. I've got my grip where I want it. I want that left arm hanging nice. It's in the same relationship to my body. I want to take this right here. I take that right hand, put it on, bend my knees just enough to be comfortable, and all I want to do now is just swing my left shoulder back and swing my left shoulder through, and boom, and there you go.